Hey there, this is Jexy with the Systems Alliance, and I know the video game industry is in dire straits right now. You have a once beloved studio like Bethesda just crumbling before our very eyes. You have Activision Activision just completely taking control of Blizzard and ruining everything. And of course you have EA being EA. But I kind of want to keep it a little more positive in this video, and I want to go over my top 10 most anticipated games coming up, or at least supposed to be coming up, in 2019. So obviously this is my top 10 list. It probably won't be your top 10 list. I'm sure it won't match anyone's top 10 list. There's going to be something moved around there, here or there. You might not have any of mine on. You might have all of mine, but in a different order. So let me know your thoughts, not just on my top 10, but your top 10. Leave your top 10 in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. Tell me why you chose your top 10, especially, your number one most anticipated game. Let me know in the comment section below. And first, I just want to start out with a couple honorable mentions. So when I was making this list, there were about 15 or so games that I wanted to put my top 10, and I was just finding a way, okay, what do we have to narrow down here? What do we have to cut out? And I didn't necessarily want to cut out anything, but you have to, and I came up with two honorable mentions that, oh man, they could have fit in number 10, maybe even number 9 on my list, but for just certain reasons, I have them as my honorable mentions. The first is Ghost of Tsushima, and this is by Sucker Punch Productions, published by Sony, and it's supposed to come out sometime in 2019, and like quite a few games on this list, the time it's going to come out in 2019, very fuzzy, and for some of them, I would think they're actually going to get pushed into 2020, but for right now, all these games have a 2019 release date, and this game in particular, the art looks really awesome. I haven't quite seen something exactly like it before, so I am looking forward to it. I think the time period it takes place in, feudal Japan, I guess the Mongols are about to invade, so that part really appeals to me. That's pretty cool as well. The game revolves around you being the last samurai on Tsushima, and I don't know, it just seems like a really cool game. If you've seen the trailers, you know what I'm talking about. They released it at E3. It just looks like a really interesting game, so this one doesn't quite crack the top 10, but definitely an honorable mention. The next honorable mention I have is Devil May Cry 5, and that's by Capcom, and it's coming out in May. Now, the thing with Devil May Cry 5, it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where Dante's journey takes us in this one. Adding a friend, a new character, it definitely looks like it's going to be, a really fun game. I've always liked the series. I've just never necessarily been in love with it. It's never been, one of my top, but it's always been something that if someone said, hey, you want to play this? Sure, I'll always sit down and play it. Apparently they're adding in a whole bunch of microtransactions to the game, something that the game never needed. So adding that in, I don't think is something that helps it. I think it hurts it, but still, I'm sure you can play just fine without it. Hopefully it doesn't impact, how you actually play the game, but overall it looks like a lot of fun. So coming in at number 10 on my list is Halo Infinite. Now, yes, I have no idea when this game is supposed to come out. The release date says 2019, so I'm going to hold them to that for now. I can't imagine they would actually release in 2019 since we've hardly heard anything about it at this point. And usually with games, there's stuff well in advance. But whether it's November, December, or whenever it is 2019, let's say it does come out in 2019, it's Halo. It's the next Halo game. So obviously hotly anticipated. The problem is, I don't know what kind of Halo this is going to be. Doesn't seem like there's Master Chief involved. It's not Halo 6 or anything like that, so I'm really not quite sure what to expect with this game. Now, if you told me that this was Halo 6 and there was Master Chief and we're fixing all the problems and crap we threw in Halo 5 and it's just going to be as good as, Halo 4 even, yeah, it'd probably be in my top 3, who knows, maybe you'd even crack my top 1 depending on how the trailer looked or how the story was going, but the trailer didn't really show us that much. I'm not really sure what to expect with this game, and I am a little worried about it. Everyone wants to go, mobile. Is this a mobile game? I don't know. Everyone wants to go, open world. Is this an open world game? I don't know. That would be weird with Halo. It doesn't seem like the regular Halo. Am I playing as a Spartan? Am I Master Chief? I have no clue. So This game hits at number 10 for me, mostly because I don't know a thing about it. But at the end of the day, it's still Halo. Now, coming in at number 9 with also not quite a release date yet is Death Stranding. Now, this game is by Hideo Kojima's new reformed studio, Kojima Productions, and they're in partnership with Sony on this one. And for me, this game, I have really no idea what to expect. And like I just said with Halo, normally that would knock it down a peg, and especially, it's not even a brand name like Halo. It's just called Death Stranding. You know, it doesn't even have any property. But here's the thing. It's Hideo Kojima. And with him, he left Konami after they did him dirty, all right? They treated him really bad, and I am so glad that he left and formed his own studio, because what they did with Metal Gear, basically making it a complete, just a gambling game, like just full of garbage, I mean, that was an embarrassment to the series, a really sad end, but I'm glad he's away from that. You know, him getting away from that, doing his own thing, that's what I'm looking forward to, and he's not the only one on this list that has gotten away from their former studio that is now doing garbage things, but the one who got away is doing great things. So looking forward to this. Obviously, this is someone you want to support, and I think someone who deserves your support. So notice, obviously, I'm talking about Hideo Kojima and his studio. As far as the game goes, yeah, I mean, the initial stuff looks amazing. I have no idea what this game's going to be like. So, do I think it's going to come out in 2019? Nah, I'll probably get pushed back, but for right now, if it does come out 2019, you can count me in. Now, coming in at number 8 is a game. It's not actually a game, it's DLC, but it makes the list because of the game it's going with, and that's Cuphead. And the DLC is Cuphead, The Last Delicious Course. So they're adding in a new character that you can play as, they're adding in obviously new bosses, levels, everything like that. The developer is Studio MDHR, published by Microsoft, but the first Cuphead, I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best games that anyone can play, and especially if you're a hardcore Nintendo, this fits right into that. This game could be pretty unforgiving. I mean, you can't even beat it on easy. You know, there's like easy and then there's regular, and regular is really hard, but the game is absolutely amazing. The art was done not just 1930s style, but done the way 1930s art was, which was by hand. I mean, this game almost never came out. It was taking years and years and years to get together, but it was totally worth it. One of the best games, and I can't wait to see more of it. So coming in at number 7 is The Outer Worlds. Now, why is this another game that's interesting on my list? I like it because it's the guys who left Bethesda, the ones who did Fallout New Vegas and everything like that. They were like, you know what, enough of this Bethesda stuff. It's going to crap. They were right. Let's form our own studio, Obsidian Entertainment. Let's go with that. Let's see what we can do. And it looks like we're getting I mean, it's not Fallout, obviously. You know, they don't own that IP. They don't own that intellectual property that belongs to Bethesda. But you get the guys who worked on it. They know how to build worlds. They know what they're doing. This is basically their version of what maybe a good Fallout game might be. Obviously, Fallout 76, complete garbage. You could barely even call it a game. But this, The Outer Worlds, that's something I'm looking forward to because I think it marks what needs to happen, and a lot of people are saying with Blizzard, their guys need to leave and they need to get together and they need to form a great studio that makes great games once again. And if more of this happens and we see success with it, I think that's what we'll see, and so that's why I'm looking forward to this game. Now coming in at number 6 is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Now this game once again supposedly comes out in 2019. I think this one actually will release in 2019, not get pushed back, but it's by Moon Studios, being released by Microsoft. The first one, Ori and the Blind Forest, absolutely amazing game, really great art, just a really great gameplay, great ideas. I just am really looking forward to where this next game goes. If it's anything like the first and they, you know, add on top of it, make it even somehow a little bit better, I think it's going to be one of the best games that comes out. This one I don't see on a lot of people's lists. You know, maybe it's because it's more of a indie arcade game, but for me, this is number 6 on my list, and I definitely can't wait for it. All right, cracking my top 5, and normally in years past, a game by this developer would have been number 1 by far on my list. So of course, that's what makes this the controversial pick, because coming up in February of 2019, probably releasing in February at least unless it gets pushed back, is Anthem. Now Anthem by BioWare, of course now owned by EA. A lot of people are looking at this game and saying, where's that BioWare love in it? Where's that BioWare that we want? Where's the story? Where are the characters? I don't see any of that. Supposedly there was a little bit of that in some footage that we haven't seen yet, but if it is, they're obviously doing a terrible job, and I feel like by not showcasing that, they're also probably hiding the fact that it may not be there. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people call this maybe a Destiny clone or ripping off Warframe, you know, whatever it is. Here's the thing. Destiny kind of stunk. Destiny 2 is a joke. Warframe, while great, not the same budget. There hasn't really been a great game like these that has come out, and so honestly, yeah, I'm going all on hope here. If Anthem is what it could be, if it's what Casey Hudson at BioWare says it's going to be, then it's number 1 on my list. But it gets knocked down to number 5 because it is Electronic Arts in there. They have their hands in there. What are they going to do as far as microtransactions go? Well, they said they're going to be just cosmetic only. Are they? Can I trust EA? Obviously, you can't trust EA. But can I trust BioWare? Here's the thing. If BioWare comes through and everything about this game that they're saying ends up being true, we got a winner on our hand. This thing's going to blow Destiny and everything else right out of the water. The only question is, will it, and are they going to tone it down on the loot boxes? Please don't put them in at all. Just please. Because once you do that with BioWare, once you sully them, and especially if this game stinks, especially if it stinks on launch, you might be looking at another Andromeda on your hands. Just, ugh. But like I said, normally a BioWare game in the past would have been number 1. Now it's number 5. Hopefully it's good. So coming in at number 4 for me is Metro Exodus. Now, this is definitely coming out in 2019, coming out in February, and it's by 4A Games, published by Deep Silver. And if you've seen the trailer, it just looks really amazing. I mean, the visuals are just, they're just crisp, they're popping. It's like, I don't know, it seems very lifelike, yet, you know, has the art, and I don't know, loving the way it's looking, and hopefully loving the way it's going to play. You know, it's a first-person shooter, but this is definitely a game I'm looking forward to seeing. It's based off of Dmitry Glukovsky's novels. It's the 3rd game in the Metro series. You know, this one looks to be, who knows, maybe it's going to be the best one ever. Hopefully it is. It's just a game that I personally, I saw the trailer. I'm just really looking forward to playing it now. So now we're coming into the top 3. We're cracking the top 3 here, and releasing in April, and there's no reason to think that this would be delayed at all, is a game by NetherRealm Studios released by WB, and I don't think I need to say any more because you hear NetherRealm and you know it's going to be Mortal Kombat 11. Now, Mortal Kombat 11, obviously saw the trailer, loved the trailer. Now, I love Mortal Kombat. I absolutely love the series. It's my favorite fighting series by far. Favorite fighting games. I mean, it spawned Injustice, which I also love. I mean, NetherRealm really has it going on. I just love everything about it. The X-ray stuff that they added in the past few editions looks absolutely brutal. Looks brutal in the trailer. The one thing I didn't like, though, is they say pre-order to get Shao Kahn now. And I don't want to see Mortal Kombat going down this path. You shouldn't have to pre-order to get a character who should already be in the game. Remember when you used to play any fighting game? Well, first of all, you unlocked characters. So to get new characters, you simply unlock them. And the past few Mortal Kombats, you still got all the characters you wanted, but the characters that they added in afterwards, they weren't integral to the story. They weren't, the classic characters that were in all the games. They were random characters, Either they were only in a few of the Mortal Kombat, so having them back was just kind of a cool thing, or they had nothing to do with it, like Jason, Alien, Predator, all of those characters. Nothing to do with Mortal Kombat, but cool, put them in. That's awesome. They're fun to fight with. So I don't like that they're doing that. However, other than that, Mortal Kombat has never really steered me wrong. So it still cracks the top 3 for me. I'm going to put that whole thing I don't like aside for right now, but hopefully at some point later you can just get Shao Kahn. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it, but just please don't mess with the characters like that. NetherRealm Studios, Warner Brothers, whoever decision this is, because I know it doesn't seem like an Ed Boon decision to me. I mean, he would just want you to maybe unlock it, but definitely looking forward to this game. You just it's Mortal Kombat. You know it's going to be great. All right, so now we're into our top 2, and it was actually very difficult for me to pick which of these, assuming they both come out in 2019, and so once again, this is both a big question whether or not these games actually come out in 2019, both number 1 and number 2. But mostly because I actually believe this one almost has no chance of coming out in 2019. I think we're really looking at 2020, but man, if it does, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. We're looking at the great studio CD Projekt Red, and they're coming out with Cyberpunk 2077, and this game, I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm sure you're the same way as well. I know some investors are predicting, 19 million copies sold within the first quarter, so obviously a lot of people can't wait for this. Everyone wants to support, especially in these dark times of gaming. Everyone should want to support, and I think does. CD Projekt Red and what they're doing, they're not selling out. They just want to make you a great game, and according to them, they want to make it just as good as Red Dead Redemption 2, only with sci-fi, but without the multiplayer, which is all about microtransactions and grinding and all that garbage stuff. So this game, I think, has huge potential. Cannot wait to play it whenever it comes out, whether it's 2019, 2020, I'll definitely be picking it up. But as of right now, even though it says 2019, and that's why it's cracking my number 2 list on most anticipated games of 2019, I think it'll probably come out in 2020. But however long it needs for them to take, however long it needs to be in the oven so it doesn't come out half-baked like a Fallout 76, whatever they need to do, take your time, make it great. We'll love you for it. Now coming in at number 1. So my number 1 most anticipated game. If you've seen some of my other videos, you might have a clue, maybe not, but if it comes out in 2019, it's definitely up there for me, and that's Gears 5. So the Gears of War franchise, one of my most favorite franchises of all time, outside of Mass Effect, Dragon Age, a couple games like that. Gears of War is the game that I am down for the most. My friends, we all play it. It's one of the reasons I got into gaming as much as I am, just have had so many fun memories with that game. I actually really only started once Gears 2 first came out. Then I went back and played the first Gears. Good game, but I mean, Gears 2, 3, not going to count Judgment, throw that piece of crap out. But 4, I mean, just tons of fun, amazing games. And Gears 5, I love Gears also because of the story mode. Sure, I mean, after I play it, I'll be playing on multiplayer, but I absolutely love where the story goes. I think they do a pretty decent job for what's basically a shooter. I mean, I love Halo, right? All the extra stuff that comes out, the comic books, the videos, all the history with Halo and all that, I think is amazing. I don't think they've ever done a super great job in the actual game, like the story mode of a Halo story that's heavy on story, similar to say a Dragon Age or Mass Effect. I don't think that Halo has ever done that. Gears of War, sure, it might not be the writing of those two that I just mentioned, but Gears of War gives you a really great story. Once again, Gears 1, the story was cool. I don't think it was really that fleshed out. Gears of War 2, great story. Gears 3, another great story. And Gears 4, another great story. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take the series in Gears 5. The trailers make it look really interesting. I want to know what's up with the Queen, how it relates to Kate, how all of that goes together. Sure, you're there for, you know, fighting the Horde, Locust, monsters, whatever it is that comes out, that I'm sure it's going to be, you know, new characters to fight, but just seeing where the story goes. I mean, Sarah is an interesting world. It's a crazy world. I sure wouldn't want to live there, but I am definitely looking forward to this game. And obviously, playing with friends, that does have a big impact. That's my go-to multiplayer game. You know, right now I'm hooked on Monster Hunter World. Absolutely love that game. You know, that's probably my game of 2018, but for 2019, definitely looking forward to Gears 5, assuming it comes out in 2019. This is Microsoft Studios, so they can delay for whenever they want. I mean, the gaming department in Microsoft is a very, very small percentage of their total revenue. Microsoft Office and all of that, it's number 2. You know, all the Windows stuff, and number 1 is Azure, their cloud computing stuff. So gaming, very small piece. You know, unlike where, say, Sony, it's a much bigger piece, and other companies, it's their entire thing. So they can afford to delay if they need to. But I don't know, I think it still comes out at the end of 2019. You know, it has been a few years since Gears 4 came out. So I'm just really looking forward to this game. And even though it's a toss-up between Cyberpunk 2077 and this Gears, I'm still going with Gears 5. So let me know your thoughts about this list. Do you agree with me? Probably not, but let me know your top 10. You know, let me know what you liked out of my top 10. Let me know what you would kick out of my top 10, and let me see your list, and let's just have a conversation. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll catch you later.